Just stand up and recognize our country, Nigeria. The anthem will be played and will be at the normal standing. The Nigerian national anthem. Thank you very much. Yes, now we not get
productivity of farmers involved in animal health and production. If it is not quality, then it is not from greed. If it is not quality, it is not from greed. When we say greed feed, we say another name for quality. When you hear greed feed, and one thing we tend to do is, my hand will always say this, Michael, it is better you don't produce when you know what you are running, what you are bringing out. Do not give optimum production to our farmers. So most of the time we might even relax. Most time people might be calling, this feed, see Roger, but we are taking our time to making sure what we are rolling out is the best of feed per time. And one thing we do again is we make sure we check. There's a quality check for every batch we do, so that our farmers will have maximum production when it comes to their bed. And our core values, we have teamwork. Like I was saying to our salesperson this morning, that first week of June, you'll be with me in the factory. You'll be in the factory, you'll be working with me. You second week, you third week. That is what we call teamwork. That is what we call teamwork. You cannot even know, when you come to our place, you cannot differentiate a factory attendant from the general manager. Because all of us, we are always ready to move things. We are ready to move things, and we are ready. That's why anybody can call me at any time. Anybody can come, just like my Oga said, Mr. Tayo said, he's going to release everybody's number to everybody available in this place this morning, so that you can contact. Most of the time, I pick calls even when I know, these people, they are our farmers. I pick their calls over the course of the night. So we are customer-centric for our firm. We respond to the needs of our farmers as swift as possible. So professionalism. We are full of professionals. Like we just introduced the other time, we have vet doctors with us. We have other people. We have animal nutritionists. I myself am an animal nutritionist. I finished Obafemi Awolowo University. So even our handy is even is studying animal production and health too. So everybody, we are full of professionals. We know what we are doing. We are not here to brag. But we know what we are doing. We know what we are doing. God has been helping us. Integrity. There's one thing about integrity. If it is not there, it is more or less like when you don't have ear to play. It is when you don't have that ear to play. That's when you know, something is wrong. When integrity is not there, then there's nothing that can function in your hands. We cannot be working with Totmak, with due respect, and we cannot be working with Totmak if we are not people of integrity. Because we have done our background checks on Totmak. They are people of integrity. So if our integrity is at stake, if our integrity is not speaking for us, we will not be where we are with them today. Maybe we've only transacted maybe two or three times, and they will push us in, these people, they are liars. But they have even checked us. I'm sure they have even watched us over time, and they've seen, these people, they are true to their words. Then trust. You can trust us with money. You can trust us with your money. I think we had that experience with some people. Like these people, they are just coming up. We don't even know where their offices. I had some farmer calling. Do you have office in Abeokuta? Do you have this? I always say, go to Totmak. When they hear Totmak, they're like, oh, there's no problem. So we are people you can trust with your money. Yes, we are full of young people. We are full of young people. Like you, but you only if you know, we are people you can entrust your money into our hands. You can trust us with your farms. You can trust us with your farms. So please and please, you can trust us. And we are full of people. We are full of disciplines. We are so disciplined that when we say this thing is coming today, then you will get it. You will get it when we say, Mr. Peter, if he's here, he can respond to that. When I tell him, Oga Peter, your feed is coming so time. And when it is not coming, I will let you know, Oga, it is not possible. Then quality leadership. Yes, quality leadership. That's one of our core values. We make sure that everybody you are seeing here today, even our salesperson, if I am not here, they will still fill up the gap for us. Now that our head is not available, is meant to stand to be here to speak to us, or I'm here standing to represent it. That is quality leadership. Apart from we are selling feed and meeting farmers, we still speak to ourselves. We train ourselves on how to relate with people. So again, most people know us as Green Feed. But I want to let us know this morning that the name of the company itself is Nickel Prime Food and Oil Mills. And our product is called Great Feeds and Concentrate. God bless you all. Great farmers! Great farmers!
They come on board as you come and give us the opening remark and goodwill messages on this occasion of the Nickel Prime remodeling the layers farmers.
Great farmers, no farmers, no nation. I want to especially welcome you to this event. And at a time like this, I want to appreciate all farmers because it is a trying time, not only for farmers, for every economy, not in Nigeria alone, but all over the world. And so for all of us who are still in business in one way or the other, I think we should be commended. And if you are here, you are still a farmer today, because as we speak, a number of people have run away. They have abandoned their farms because of the current challenges. But I'm sure they will come back. But because we are still here, I want us to put our hands together for ourselves. It's not as if we are not facing the challenges, but the important thing is that we are still able to stand. And I tell you, if we are not doing what we are doing today, we must have, many people must have lost hope in the future that we're expecting. Now, having said that, I want you to know that knowledge is very, very important. And that's one thing that I really appreciate. Putting programs together like this, one thing to ensure that we continue to disseminate important information to every one of us. And so this morning we're still going to have that opportunity. And our guest speaker today, Dr. Adeba Akolade, is a good friend of mine. He's a very experienced veterinarian. Please, let's listen attentively so that we can learn about the products. One thing we ensure, anytime we have collaboration with some of our vendors, we ensure that apart from talking about their products, we also bring information that is going to be of great benefit to farmers. And if you have been attending our program, we ensure that you listen to a very good lecture that is going to enhance your performance. And at the same time, of course, because they are the sponsor of the event, we still have to listen to what they have to do about their product. But having said that, I also want to commend them. Like we said, they are just 5 years in business, and we know that they have done a lot well. And I'm sure there's still a great room for them to improve. Please, let's appreciate them once again.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have us here this morning. I'd like to thank the management and the staff of Great Feeds and Concentrate, Nickel Prime Limited, great fish and concentrate. I'd like to thank the Totmak family for giving us this environment where we can gather freely to talk about our industry. I'd like to thank all of you farmers who have made time to be here this morning. It's a trying time. So everybody that makes time to come and listen at a seminar like this, we have to really, really appreciate you for the sacrifice of time to be here to listen. So that this microphone will not misbehave, I will control my movement. I think it's more important that you hear me. So let me control my movement and stay here. Let's know ourselves a little so that I will be sure I'm talking not above your head. If you are here this morning and you are a poultry farmer, please just wave. You have chicken. Okay, good. Now, if you have 5,000 birds and more, please wave your hand. 5,000 birds and more. If you have, thank you. If you have 1,000 birds and less, 1,000 and less, please wave your hand. 1,000 and less. Okay. So that means small scale farmers are a significant number. Then between 1,100 and 5,000, please just wave your hand. Between 1,100 and 5,000. Thank you. It enables me to put some of these things in context so that I don't start speaking above your need. So the times are changing, and the things that used to work some years ago, some of them are no longer working. And what our parents used to do, that they used to still make it, are these days not proving so effective as it was then. I'm always happy and proud to say that I come from a town that poultry rearing is native to the town. My local government in Oyo State is a local government called Afidjo. My hometown is Ilora. Ilora is a poultry town. And beside us is the town called Awe. Awe is so synonymous with poultry that they call them Awe or Majokudia. And then they will ask you that you will get Yela. So, and this is a place where you find families who've been in poultry farming since commercial poultry farming started in Nigeria in the 60s or the 50s. So, and in a few families, that business has remained in the family up till now. So they can tell you stories. And part of the stories that even I met is that there was a time when even if your layer birds are doing 50% production, you will still make profits. But now, at 60-65%, some farmers are not making profit. Am I right?
Yes.
So, what that means is that what worked that time will not work this time. Even on something as simple as production efficiency. That is, in a percentage yellow. So, those were days when 50% will still give you something to take care of your family. Now anybody that tries 60% and settles down there is on his way out. What worked before that does not work again. I grew up in a time where there were poultry farmers who had 1,000 birds, some a little less, and they could take care of their 4 children on those number of birds. As in, pẹ̀lú year 1,000, wọ́n rán wọn ní school, wọ́n sanwó ilé, wọ́n ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀, wọ́n lọ university. Many of us here now that have 1,000 birds, tí bá bí yín lérè pé pẹ̀lú 1,000 birds níṣẹ́ ní confidence láti rán wọn university, kí lánsà yín máa jẹ́? It's a capital no. 1,000 birds today can not likely send 4 children through school. What that means is that certain things have to change. And so we must continually seek new insights if we seek to remain on the cutting edge, whether we are layer farmers or broiler farmers. So even though our objectives remain the same, our strategies for success will need to change. So what are the objectives of a layer farmer? What are the objectives of a layer farmer? The objectives of a layer farmer is that you want to have maximum hen house production. Àwọn adìyẹ wa a fẹ́ kí wọ́n yé káọdún. Please, anyone here that is totally non-Yoruba speaking, if I go to vernacular, you will not understand what I'm saying. Anybody? One. Luckily, you are sitting beside Mama. So please, if I slip into speaking Yoruba, help me to interpret to him. Because sometimes wọ́n ní pé àwọn ọkùnrin tó ń bá wa jà nígbà míì wọ́n gbé èbò. So if I slip into speaking vernacular, please help me so that it does not feel marginalized. So a layer farmer wants to have eggs to the end of the life of the bird. In fact, for as far long as possible. When we are planning, we say we plan 12 months in lay on our feasibility study. But as a layer farmer, if you can get away with 18 months in lay, you'll be happy, not so. So you want your birds to lay for as long, and you want them to, when the year ends, you want to calculate that they have laid the maximum number of eggs possible by the year. The hen house average for Nigeria is like a shifting goalpost. In some countries they will say 320. If you get 300 in Nigeria, you are a superstar. For most it's 280, 290, 270. That is, when you have 1,000 birds in the year, you say what is our total number of eggs divided by our total number of birds. So that we will be able to say this is how many eggs one chicken laid for me for the year. And this is a significant indicator of performance. You want your birds to lay enough eggs over the year. So in other words, you don't want them to be going on holiday. You see, first time holiday, second time holiday, throughout the year. Marathon me. That's one objective. Another one is that we want to have fair egg size, because where we still are in Nigeria, Nigerians buy by sight, right? We have not reached the point where we buy eggs by weight. We still buy by sight. So you want your eggs to have fair egg size. You also want your birds to use your feed well. You don't want them to waste your feed. You don't want them to eat your feed and not transfer it or translate it into eggs. You don't want your birds to die. You want all your birds, if possible, you want all the birds that started to finish so that you can sell spent layer. Torí lọ́dọ̀ wa spent layer owó ni. And the summary is and a profitable margin. That's why all of us are doing this business, not to. Okay, so apart from having a good genetic makeup of our bird, management also plays an important part. You know, we are always quick to blame the hatchery. Hatchery of Fumiladi Toda and Awata point of blame. All of us are not here. That year, what is the point of blame? There, bóyá fún wọn ní EDS, bóyá fún wọn ní 3-in-1. Ẹ sọ pé lásòtá àwọn complete. You know, it's easy to blame the source of your birds, but then it's an interplay of genetics and management, and we must consider how to select good birds and then how to nurture them. So next, I will just remind us, I know we know this, have our relationship with us here, so I know we've learned a few things. Some of the things I assume that we would have learned, I will fly over them so that we can go to the main issues. Just to remind us that we must be quick to select good AO chicks. So the smart poultry farmer must learn how to recognize and how to buy high quality AO chicks. One comment I will make there is that they are teaching us now that in the journey to efficiency, the fewer hours your birds spend between hatch and flock, the better. So if, as we now know, that the birds you collect on Thursday were actually hatched on Wednesday evening or afternoon, now that is almost 24 hours, right? So if you now keep them again till Friday or Saturday, as some of us do, it's like you have punished the birds. So I understand that many of us here are small scale, middle scale farmers who cannot go to the hatchery. But when the birds reach here or wherever, shorten the time between when you collect them and when they take their first feed and water. You notice that in the video we watched, they have even advanced to the point that straight from the hatchery, the birds are beginning to peck and to drink. Those birds, if they are broilers, they will grow faster. If they are pullets, they will be stronger, healthier. So the gap between hatch and first feed and water should be as short as possible. So that one is in our control. Get your house ready. Ẹ má gbàdí yẹn lọ́jọ́ Thursday kẹ́ wá kó parí yẹn sílẹ̀ kó a máa place wọn lọ́la everybody ẹ máa lọlé ẹ ṣe place wọn jọ yẹn kí night shift bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Thursday yẹn náà we get on Thursday here, right? So if you get on Thursday, place on Thursday. Now, to nurture for best results, we need to offer an environment that is managed to provide us with all their requirements. We know that. We need to prevent, detect, and treat ill health promptly. We need to provide nutrients that are appropriate for our birds, and we must always give them appropriate provision of feed and water. Appropriate provision of feed and water. As you will see, the feed people will tell you the feed that is needed at so-so stage, at so-so stage, at so-so stage. Let us not, because of money, give growers mash to birds that should be eating chicks mash. They will eat, but they will punish us. So all of these are interdependent, and we should do them together. If you give a good house and you don't give good feed, if you give good feed and you give bad water, it will affect. So everything has to be done together. It's like a chain. If one side is broken, the chain is open. So as much as possible, let's pay attention to detail. I just want to run an overview. If you want to start a poultry farm, what should you have done? So that if you have started already, you want to ask yourself, did I do it properly? One is training. I'm happy for people here. You like coming for training. It is not good to do this business without learning. The other one is financial planning. When they say financial planning, people tend to think of big things. No, you don't have to be an accountant to plan financially. An commercial trader knows that at so time mangoes will be plenty, at so time coconuts will be plenty, at so time, and then he knows the time that I must have plenty money in my hand so that I can buy palm oil, so that I can keep, so that I can sell at good price. So, and you see my grandmother saying, "Ọmọ mi lówó lọ́wọ́," and if you raise her bed, you will see plenty money under the bed. Grandma, lówó lọ́wọ́ kí ni mò ń wò lábẹ́ bed? Epo ò ní pẹ́ jáde, owó tàbí epo là ń dájọ́ síbẹ̀ yẹn. That is financial planning. So, because she knows that a time is going to come very soon, that she's going to need money to do certain things, she is putting money together and she is telling you that there is no money. Why? Because she is trying to get ready for an expense that is to come. So without the complications of big time accounting, we can simply say when am I likely to need this? When am I likely to need this? What is it that if I pay ahead, I will get at a better price? And I can see that this is a largely feminine budget. You, our mothers, you know how to do that thing very well. My wife will say, let's go and buy tomatoes. And then they will bring a whole sack of tomatoes. She told us, kilo de, every tomato pawani, how much is this sack? 6,000 naira. So when she wants to give me orientation, she will not drive me about 2 weeks later. The same sack that we bought 6,000 naira, put it 24,000 in 2 weeks. That's why we have to buy. So people who have good financial planning buy smart because they plan. So these things they look like big grammar, but we can simplify them to our day-to-day business. And in our own business, do you know that if you save, you know our boss eat every day. If by some smart financial planning, you are able to save 100 naira every day because you plan your finances very well and you purchase right. 100 naira every day over 1 month is how much? 3,000 naira. That money can buy recharge card. By 12 months, that is 36,000 naira. For some of us, that money can already pay an attendant. So some little savings in a day-to-day business translates to tangible gains. That's why we must plan our money very well, so that procurement, that is how we go to buy things, when we go to buy things, where we go to buy things, we can save money because we have planned our money very well. I took time on that because that's an area where if we look very well, many of us are losing money because we just do it on impulse, day by day, day by day, day by day. And if you look back at the end of the year and you look at your transport cost, you look at your purchase cost, you see that if you had planned your money very well, some of these things would not have been as expensive as they should be. In my part of the country in Nevada, one time I had people who would go to pick feed every week. One day, the cost of hiring vehicle just struck me. Kilo day, 16,000. So I now asked, what if we take 2 weeks feed at a time? I found out that the money was 20,000. Then, so 1 week feed, 16,000 for transport. 2 weeks feed, 20,000 for transport. Meaning that if I pick 2 weeks at a time, I have saved 12,000 naira. So by picking every fortnight, I have already almost saved the salary of one attendant. The only other thing I need to do is to now arrange how my money comes in. And you know the beautiful thing? The person selling feed was not even averse to giving a little credit because he knew I was not running away. So it's not as if I needed more money to buy this feed per time. I just did not think of it. You see, Oga, if one feed ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì, a sanwó ìdajì. In a few days, àmọ́ wàá san yòókù, a sá lọ, and they obliged. So I didn't incur more cost per time, but I was saving more money by just looking at èló la fi ń wọkọ̀. So some of these things we used to do in the past, let's look at them and we might find out that we can save money. So location planning, where we are, construction. As we were coming this morning, I saw one house. This time not a poultry house, but one house that had come down. And I remember that April, May, when the rains are starting, is the time when storms bring down many pen houses. This is a time now for us to start watching how we build our pen houses, to ask questions from those who know about construction, so that our houses don't come down anyhow. And God save you. The day my own pen house came down, the one boy was outside doing something. I think the light went off, it was raining, and then he went to the power room to go and check. And then he just said, "Jọ̀wọ́ wá bá mi." So, and that one went to assist. As he was coming out and trying to enter the something just did. It was like, Olúwa ṣeun o, because the attendant would have been inside. So at that time, if the attendant had been inside, we will not worry about the chicken again. The worry would have been about, and his family were far, they were in Benue. So this is why it's important to worry about the quality of our structures, because when it happens, what you will now spend settling the family will be more than what you would have spent building a strong penthouse. Water, electricity, staffing. I'm just reminding us. Also, our daily routine. This is a time that we need to pay attention to the execution of our daily routine. Do our attendants actually do these things? Because many times it is money they want, they don't want work. So find a way to ensure that they actually do these things. Because if they don't do it, and the one that suffers most is provision of water. Unfortunately, as free, as cheap as water is, if water is not provided, or if water is not provided on time, everything you have provided is waste. So ecolori esoloro, that they must understand that provision of water, changing of water on time is critical for success in poultry farming, particularly layer board farming. It's also good to pay attention to our input. Get good input. Today we are talking about feed, and you've heard a few things. You will hear some more things after I finish. We must ensure that we get quality inputs into our operations, because for poultry it is garbage in, garbage out. Feed is important. Feed is important in this matter because if you see, as we've always been told, feed is the most expensive of the things that we use on our farm. So what that means is that if we get feed wrong, we will land in trouble. So while everything is important, I just want to call our attention to the fact that our feed must not be wrong. We must get our feed right. And that also calls to question our efficiency ratio. Now, if you keep record on your farm at the end of the year, and record can just be one big note or exercise book where you write things. At the end of the year, many of us have children. If you don't have time, just give it to your son or your daughter. Say, on this exercise book, add all the feed, add all the drugs and vaccines, add all the salary. So you will just say everything here, maybe 500,000. Everything here, maybe 35,000. Everything here, maybe. So give the big notes to one child. Let the child add everything for you. And when you finish, now try to see what the percentages are. So that will tell you how well proportioned your farm is. Because in some farms, labor is almost 40%. Gbogbo àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tán need àti òṣìṣẹ́ tán need, gbogbo wọn ló kún bẹ̀. So that means that all the money that should come to you has gone somewhere else. So it's good to see your ratios and check how close they are to standard. Now, we are talking about how to remodel egg production. Kí làwọn nǹkan tó yẹ kó change? Ká lè bá máa rí èrè torí a lè sá lọ nídìí iṣẹ́. What are the things that we need to adjust for profit in our poultry farming? you will think that I will come and tell you some big things that you have never heard before. No. The devil is actually in the details. Early life management is one major thing we all now must begin to pay attention to because of our quest to ensure that our profit is guaranteed. So lára nǹkan tí a kì í fojú sí tẹ́lẹ̀ tó yẹ ká máa fojú sí dáadáa ń sìn onígbà táwọn adìyẹ wa bá kéré. You know, most of us poultry farmers are like the average parents, the average not so serious parent. I observe that most parents begin to worry about their children's brilliance when they are in SS1, SS2. But why are you back today? Ọmọ tó bá ya olódò SS2 kí ló fẹ́ ṣe wà ẹ́ kò sí nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe ẹ̀rọ àgbálẹ́sìn teacher jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. So the place where you should be worried is foundation. Age 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. Tọ́mọ bá ti wọ age 10 tó bá ya olódò ó máa ń ṣòro correct. So it's the same thing with our poultry. We should watch out in the early stages. Well begun is half done. So don't look for big secrets. The simple secret is that be concerned about the early days. One of the things they say to us is that ensure 24 hours crop filling. When your birds come into the pen, let them get feed as quickly as possible, so that in 8 hours, like 80% of them have filled their crop. In 24 hours, 95% to 100% of them have filled their crop. Please show the next slide so that we can see the crop. Next. So this chick, can you see this round compared to this flat? So in 8 hours, move round and see, and if you touch that place, it's not very loud, but you hear that grip, you feel it in your hand. So move round and see that they are eating. See that they are now toba don't if the sound is breathing, or if it is like a people are thinking about amala, egbo, it means that they've eaten and they've drank water. You can do a random sampling, take 30, if it is 8, take 8 at a time, check, go round. So that first day, that day is a day of 24-hour work of stimulating them, moving around. And sometimes you see them, calling from a baby. You are just trying to excite them to eat and to drink. If you can get all of them to eat within 8 hours, you have given yourself a very good start. If you can get all of them to fill their crops within 24 hours, you have had an advantage that you will gain way further down. So 24-hour crop filling is a very important thing. The second one they say to us because of our time is the 7-day weight gain. Whether you are doing broiler or you are doing bullets, your 7-day weight gain is important. So you want to feed the chicks what your Igbo call ad libitum without restriction in the first week, so that they can gain very well. You know, within that first week, they are yet to develop very well, and this, when you feed them, their intestine, their gizzard will develop rapidly within that. Ikùn wọn máa fẹ̀. Ikùn wọn dẹ̀ ṣe fẹ̀ yẹn, á jẹ́ kí wọ́n tètè gbéra. So allow them to eat very well, so that they can have a very good take-off between day 4 and day 8. It's also established that the liver increases twice as fast as body weight during the first week of life. So the liver will be increasing, it will be taking deposits that it will use for them. And you know the interesting thing, the liver is also an immunological organ. That is, adìyẹ tó bá ń wá immunity, inú ẹ̀dọ̀ ló ti máa kọ́kọ́ rí. You know immunity. Ṣàmọ́ tí ò ní jẹ́ ká àrùn rí wọn mú. So it's valuable when the boss eat very well and their liver enlarges very well, because it will go back to their ability to resist disease. So that means that first week kò ṣeré, oúnjẹ àjẹjẹ tán, ìtọ́jú bí ọmọ tuntun la fẹ́ fún wọn. So if we do that in the first week and you are able to achieve or exceed the target weight in the first week, you have done yourself a lot of good. And you know the beautiful thing, in that first week they are not eating a lot. So you've given them a lift at the time that they don't need plenty food. You are better than the person who is now struggling to speed them up at week 9 or week 10. At that time, they will need a lot of feed to achieve the same purpose. And in actual fact, they will not achieve it. So the third one in that early one is what is called 7-day livability. 7-day livability talks about, it's like the screen is too big, so that you can see the caption. 7-day livability talks about the boss not dying. If you must have mortality at all in the first 7 days, it must not be more than 2%. That is someone for you like the year 50, they actually 51. One orí ẹ̀yẹ nìkan ni wọ́n expect kó kú. 50 ló kú orí ẹ̀kan wọ day 8. And what that means is that we must give the boss maximum care. And do you know that what kills birds in the first 7 days is not always only disease? Neglect is a lot. Oru ti mú jù, wọ́n fò sínú èédú, you know, all those things that are elements of neglect. Net òdúró dáadáa, ó tọrùn bọ net, ó yá lọ́rùn. All those elements of neglect that can make your boss to die, let's take care of them. And most importantly, let's be aware of the things that can kill our birds in the first 7 days. Which is why in most places they say early serum monitoring is good, so that you will know when to do your first Newcastle disease vaccination. Because if they are not bringing sufficient maternal immunity and you don't know, they will start coming down with signs, and any little stress they will start dying. So this is something that we need to do very well. The second one is nutrition, and that is important. For pullets, you want to ensure that in the first 6 weeks they have good organ development. Organ development must be achieved in the first 5 to 6 weeks, which is why it's good for you to know the standard weight for your bird. Issa Brown weight gain chart for Issa Brown, and be checking it with your birds every week or every 2 weeks, depending on what is easy. I prefer every week, although the attendants are always complaining that I go need. I'm gonna say next week, you know. So and if you keep checking, if your birds can enter week 6 overweight, you are very lucky. And again, it is in those early ages that they need less feed. So let's see how we can feed our birds very well. We said that our birds must not enter week 12 underweight, because by that time they have achieved frame size. So at the end of week 12, our ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lọ wá broiler starter ká fi help wọn, owó la fi jóná. So the earlier the better. So target that you want your birds to enter week 6 equal weight or overweight, and then you can go into grower very quickly, and by which time, maybe by week 8 or week. But you know that for most of us, we are on starter up to week 11, week 12. A máa tún fi ń bóòsì pé starter náà jẹ́ wọ week 12 gbèsè nìyẹn. Lọ́wọ́ tá a wá ń sìn gbèsè ní. So let's.